The movie kicks off where we see a girl named Justine sitting peacefully with her friends as they return home. But suddenly, something unknown attacks their plane, causing it to completely lose control and start falling from a great height. Within seconds, the plane crashes straight into the thick Amazon jungle. With a terrifying impact, the rear part of the plane breaks off and a girl is violently thrown out. As the plane continues to descend, many people are thrown out one by one. Seeing this, chaos and screaming erupt inside the plane. Suddenly, the plane stumbles and crash lands in the middle of the jungle. The accident is so horrific that branches pierce straight through the pilot's body. One girl had already died in her seat, while the rest, terrified, immediately rush out of the plane. But the danger is not over yet. As soon as they step out, one student's head gets caught in a spinning propeller. In all this chaos, their GPS tracker is lost, leaving them completely stuck in the middle of the jungle. Their mobile phones are useless because there is no signal, so they cannot send any message for help. On top of that, the sponsor who knew the most about this area is now dead in the jungle. However, the real horror is just beginning. Suddenly, Harvey hears strange sounds coming from the jungle. When he listens carefully, he realizes the sounds are from nearby tribal people. He thinks that if they help, everyone can reach the camp through the river and get rescued. But the problem is that the tribes do not understand a single word of their language. As a result, they attack them directly. During the attack, Harvey's girlfriend is killed, and the rest are knocked unconscious with poisoned darts. After some time, Justin regains consciousness. As soon as she wakes up, she finds herself lying in a wooden boat. The people sitting around her are from the same jungle tribe. Panicking, she starts trying to untie the rope on her hands, but as soon as she moves, a tribesman shouts at her. Covered completely in black paint, this man is a ruthless butcher from a cannibal tribe. When the boat reaches the shore, more tribe members appear. Whether children or elderly, all have painted their bodies red. Soon, the captured students are taken to the tribal village. As they arrive, they are welcomed in a strange way. Everyone starts touching them oddly. Seeing skeletons hanging on trees and human skulls placed on bamboo poles makes them even more terrified. When they reach the large huts, an old man with a stick walks forward. He is the chief of the tribe, and his word is law. He hits his stick on the ground, and all the noisy cannibals suddenly go silent. He slowly comes closer and examines each student carefully, then starts speaking in his own language. The students do not understand anything and look at each other in confusion. After some time, they are taken away and locked inside a pig cage. A crowd of tribespeople gathers outside, staring at them like animals waiting to be slaughtered. But the fat boy is even more unlucky. He is left aside separately. An old woman comes to him and forces him to drink a strange liquid. Then he is pushed onto a large rock, and his hands are untied. Before he can react, several strong men hold him down. The tribal chief steps forward and, in one swift motion, brutally gouges out his eyes and eats them. Then he cuts out his tongue and eats it as well. At the same time, the black butcher picks up a large knife and starts cutting off his limbs one by one. Soon the fat boy is brutally chopped into pieces. Watching this horrifying scene, it feels like being overweight can also be dangerous, because such people might target the fattest person first. His body is now turned into food for the tribe. They cut it carefully like a butcher preparing meat. Each part is separated, and the torso is coated with spices and placed into a clay oven to roast. Soon the smell of meat spreads across the village, and even children begin drooling. On the other side, Justin and her friends become even more terrified. Now they are sure that they have become prey for cannibals. But among them, Harvey remains calm. He tries to find a signal on his phone to call for help, but it is useless. The way the tribe sits and eats looks like a normal feast, except the food on their plates is human flesh. The tribe also raises pigs and cows, but they keep humans captive as well. The prisoners eat, drink, and relieve themselves inside the cage. At night, the cannibals go to sleep early because there is no electricity. They light fires to keep away the darkness. Seeing this chance, the college students slowly start planning their escape. A bearded man says that if they find their GPS tracker, they can call for help. But Harvey says it is useless because the tribe is guarding everywhere, and once they finish eating the fat boy, they will kill all of them. Hearing this, Justin becomes furious because Harvey is the one who brought them here. But they cannot just wait for death. One girl tries to escape through the top of the cage, but as soon as she sticks her head out, a guard shoots her with a tranquilizer dart, and she collapses. The next morning, a small tribal boy is sitting near Justin, staring at the necklace around her neck. He is curious about the strange whistle. Justin thinks that if she befriends him, they might escape. So she blows a soft tune using the whistle. Hearing the sound, the black butcher arrives with others. He takes all the girls out and brings them to the same place where the fat boy was killed. Soon their clothes are also removed, and the tribal chief inspects them one by one. After some time, 2 girls are sent back, but Justin is taken away separately. But just then, heavy rain starts pouring from the sky. As the rain increases, all tribes people except the guards return to their huts. Seeing this chance, one girl inside the cage decides to escape. She plays a ringtone on her phone to distract the guard, then quickly climbs out of of the cage. She was a fast runner in college, so even on the slippery ground, her speed does not slow down. Then her eyes fell on a wooden boat lying near the riverbank. She immediately ran toward it, got into the boat, and escaped from there. After the rain stopped, the tribespeople dragged Justine back. Luckily, there were no injuries on her body, but her face and body had been painted with strange red and white colors. Her friends could not understand what it meant, and even Harvey was completely confused. Just then, they saw a tribal girl whose legs were tightly tied. Seeing her, everything became clear. In fact, the tribe was preparing to marry Justine, and they intended to do things with her that were beyond imagination. Realizing this made Justine even more terrified. At that moment, Harvey said that Justine should consider herself lucky because those who were chosen for marriage survived a little longer than the other captives. Hearing this, the bearded man angrily told Harvey to stay quiet and then tried to comfort Justine, saying they would definitely find a way to escape. Meanwhile, some tribespeople came toward the cage carrying bowls of food. As the food was being distributed, Justine again noticed the same small tribal boy. This time she blew the whistle again. The boy kept listening to the sound without stopping. On the other hand, Harvey mocked her, saying it was useless, and started eating the strange food in the bowl. A blonde girl sitting nearby hesitated because she was a vegetarian, but she could not bear the hunger and eventually started eating the pieces of human flesh. However, when the bowl became empty and she saw a tattoo inside it, she realized that the flesh she had been eating belonged to her own friend who had tried to escape. Shocked beyond belief, she immediately broke the bowl and slit her own throat. In reality, the tribespeople had secretly killed and cooked her friend. Before the others could even react, she had already died. Not wanting her death to go to waste, the remaining students secretly forced her mouth open and stuffed intoxicating leaves down her throat, hoping that if the cannibals ate her, the entire tribe would become drugged. The tribespeople remained completely unaware of this plan. When the black butcher arrived, he quickly cut the body into pieces and placed the torso into the same clay oven. Soon the strong smell of meat spread again. After eating, many tribespeople began staggering strangely, as if they had never experienced such a powerful intoxication before. Seizing the opportunity, Justine and the bearded man quickly escaped from the cage. But as another boy tried to escape, Harvey knocked him unconscious so that he would not become the first target. Justine did not have time to save him, so they ran away immediately. After a while, the boy regained consciousness and saw two tribesmen sitting in front of him, laughing strangely under the influence of intoxication. Thinking he could escape quietly, he tried to move, but the cannibals, now used to human flesh, suddenly grabbed him. One of them bit into his hand with his teeth. Terrified, he ran with all his strength, but the nearby tribespeople quickly surrounded him. Within seconds, a crowd gathered from all sides and began tearing his body apart like vultures. In no time, he was brutally ripped into pieces. Meanwhile, Justine and the bearded man kept moving along the riverbank, hoping to reach the rescue team soon. Suddenly, while crossing the river, Justine slipped and fell into the fast-flowing water. Hearing her scream, the bearded man panicked and ran along the riverbank, chasing after her. Using a branch, he somehow managed to pull her out of the river. After that, they moved deeper into the jungle and reached the place where their plane had crashed. There, the bodies of the dead were hanging on bamboo sticks, dried by the sun and air, now turned into food for the cannibals. Seeing this horrifying sight, Justine trembled in fear. The bearded man rushed toward the plane wreckage and finally found the GPS tracker, but its battery was dead. Just then, Justine heard a mobile phone ringing. They immediately started searching the pockets of the nearby dead bodies and finally found a phone in Harvey's girlfriend's pocket. But just as they felt relieved, the tribespeople, who had been searching for them like wild animals, reached them. Despite all their efforts, they were captured once again. The tribal women began preparing Justine for marriage, while the bearded man was tightly tied to a wooden pole. The black butcher then gave him the most brutal punishment imaginable, worse than a living death. First, he broke all the bones in his body, then covered him entirely with a sticky green substance. The sweet smell of it attracted nearby ants. Within moments, hundreds of ants climbed onto his body and began biting his flesh mercilessly. He kept screaming in unbearable pain. Meanwhile, Justine was fully prepared for the ritual. The tribal elder approached her with a small knife, about to begin the ceremony, when suddenly loud screams were heard from outside. Hearing this, the elder immediately stopped. At the same time, a tribesman came running in, holding a severed human head. In fact, the rescue team had entered the jungle, which meant new prey had arrived for the cannibals. As soon as the chief heard this, he ordered everyone to go hunting. Within moments, the entire village was emptied, leaving behind only a few women and children, including the same small tribal boy who had listened to Justine's whistle. Taking advantage of the moment, that boy quietly set Justine free. While escaping, Justine tries to free the bearded man as well. However, he stops her and tells her to take the phone and run immediately immediately, but Justine does not want to leave him behind. Suddenly, the tribal boy knocks the man unconscious and, in the next moment, slits his throat, killing him in a painful way. Watching this, Justine is completely shattered, but there is no point in staying there any longer. As she starts to run, Harvey, who is still locked in the cage, asks her to take him along. However, Justine leaves the traitor behind and moves forward. The small tribal boy guides her and takes her far away from the tribe. With his help, Justine is close to escaping the jungle. Before leaving, she gives her small whistle necklace to the boy as a gift. But while crossing the river, the tribe members spot her. At the same time, they see a jaguar nearby. The tribe considers this animal sacred, and when they notice that the jaguar does not attack Justine, they take it as a sign and stop chasing her. As soon as Justine reaches the other side of the river, she witnesses a terrifying confrontation. The cannibals and the rescue team are fighting face to face, but the rescue team is far more powerful in terms of weapons. As a result, many tribespeople are killed. Seeing the dead tribespeople, an idea suddenly strikes her. She quickly takes out her phone and approaches the rescue team, convincing them that she is not one of the tribespeople, so they should not shoot her. Seeing the phone in her hand, the commander immediately calls her toward the security team. Eventually, the soldiers stop their attack. Before boarding the helicopter, a man asks her if anyone else has survived. Hesitating for a moment, Justine clearly says that she is the only one alive and that everyone else has died. After this, she is safely sent back home. Meanwhile, Harvey is left behind forever among the cannibal tribe. Soon, the news of Justine surviving this deadly plane crash spreads all over the world, and she becomes famous overnight. However, she never reveals that her friends did not die in the crash but were killed by the tribespeople. Instead, she tells the world that without the help of those tribes, she would have died in the Amazon jungle after the crash. She does this to ensure that the tribe does not become extinct. After an interview, just as Justine is about to sleep, she receives a call from Harvey's sister. She tells her that in satellite images, she has spotted a man whose entire body is painted black and whose face resembles Harvey. This clearly means that Harvey has now become the new Black Butcher of the cannibal tribe, and with this shocking twist, the movie comes to an end.